Let's see. By the light of the moon, by the light of the moon, by the light of the full moon. Ladies and gentlemen, Gemini friends, welcome to my channel and welcome to this reading. Da 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 da. It's your turn, Gemini, Gemini, yeah. What are we doing tonight? I'm using this deck called Lady Lescott Tarot. Lady Lescott Tarot. I always mess that up. Lady Lescott Tarot. And the first card that I'll pull out is talking about the full moon period, which is the 19th of February, but 3 or 4 days before, 3 or 4 days after. The cycle usually lasts about that much, the energy. And this is my collection of fine arts paintings cards that I'll start with, the issues. And then I'll put a particular spread out. I'll explain it to you and show you the cards, my Vera Sibilla cards. And then I'll be casting runes at the end to crown the reading. So let's, without further ado, as they say, let's start. And this is the issues that are on your mind, that you decide to concentrate on in this period. And let's get that out. Okay. Now each card that I put out has a position, has a meaning, and I'll tell you about that. Gemini. Gemini, Gemini. All right. Now, how now, said the brown cow. Look, we've got this first card that talks about the issues and the problems that you want to deal with. This is the lady with the book. Then we have the cards that represents the actions you tend to take on that and how you take them. This is the Six of Pentacles. Then we have the Queen of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the environment, and then we've got the World card for the emotions, your emotional side to this moon cycle, moon phase story. And then the card representing change. It is the Eight of Pentacles. Well, well, well. I see you in there. I see you in there. I'm not dumb. I can see you there. All right. So what do we have here, Gemini? The issues are things that have been giving you food for thought for a very long time. And time, when we say time in general, you know, if I say, oh, it's been a long time, it's always relative, because my long time could be 3 months. Your long time could be 3 years. But I'm seeing whatever that long time is for you, that's how long it's been. Okay. It's things that you have been thinking about for a while. And you don't necessarily need to act on them. You're thinking to yourself, this full moon is going to, how can I'll choose the word obfuscate, is going to hide a part of these issues for you. But this is just half of the story, because I see that you have the power then to become very, very influential if you want. Now, Gemini, if you want to be in solving certain issues. Let's say that you come into the moon cycle and you say to yourself, well, I've been thinking for a very long time. My very long time is 3 years, let's say. And I've been thinking for all that time that I would like my relationship, my long-standing relationship, I would like to put an end to it, but I never acted on it. So you come into this moon cycle and, excuse me, something's bugging my eye. You come into this moon cycle and you feel like, maybe I couldn't act on it before, but now, you know, by golly, I feel like I can act on it. And whatever that is, because this is a general reading, it's different from everyone. And what I see is that you become very outgoing in the sense of expressing yourself, very outgoing and magnanimous, very giving of your thoughts, of your ideas, and of how you feel. That means you're starting to open up, and you're opening up where to other people it may be you're closing down. When I say you're opening up, finally you're going to talk to this companion that has been in your life for such a long time, and you're going to give that person respect, the respect that they deserve, in the sense of actually telling them how you feel, and that's respect. It's not born of fear. It's sharing your truth, and that is high. That's a point of high respect. We have to remember that. You honor their presence so much that you think they deserve to know how you truly feel, instead of being, living a lie in very few words. And so, this is going round and going round and going round. And the actions are, yes, I would like to talk about it. I've been thinking about this for a long time. I don't have the answers. Gemini, you just tell them, because the thoughts are just coming off, rolling off of your skin. And you say, I don't have the answers. I know that there's something wrong here. I don't even know if it's possible to mend it, to fix it. I don't know. And in this way, on the one hand, you give the ability to the universe to give you a response, and give you a hint of whether it's possible to develop, possible to mend, possible to change or not. And what's interesting is that in this period, you become very, I don't want to say reliable or responsible, but very powerfully aware of your smallness, your greatness, yourself. You're very aware of your limits. There it is. You're very aware of your limits. You're very aware of your strong points. You're very aware of how much you can do on your own and how little you can do on your own. And it's very interesting, this, because it seems that you're understanding this for the first time. Understanding it for the first time, even though you've been, known these people, known this man, known this woman for such a long time. I've lived with them for such a long time. But it's as if you're being born again, you have that notion, Gemini, it's, I'm being born again. This is what it must feel to be born again, except I'm not a child and I can express myself, Is it possible to be born again at 40? Is it possible to be born again at 60, 70, 80, 50, 20, And you think that, of course, if your mind shifts and your perspective shifts, then everything shifts. And it's for the first time. If I shift my perspective, I'm looking there for the first time and I've got fresh eyes. And so these are things that you spend a lot of time in thinking about. I don't want to say your fate, but thinking about your present. I'm finding in the readings that I've been doing now, this is the third, but it's all about being in the present, and being in the present with the hindsight that we have and the wisdom that we have. Now, the card that signifies here, that represents emotions, here I see very much maturity. This is the World card. I see a great maturity of emotions now. It's by no chance. And it really looks like the moon, doesn't it? It's by no chance that you have come with your thoughts, like the world here, full circle. And you have had to go through a lifetime, as long as your age, 40, 30, 20. I've had to wait all that time to understand a very basic truth, a very simple truth. All I have to do is say what I mean. And that's it. That's what makes me feel the best. Just say what I think and say what I mean and be honest. You know, and it's, again, you feel like you are born again. And because it's such a simple truth, child's play, you know, a child knows that. And it's interesting this, because you get a new, you sort of get a new lease on life, a new emotional lease on life. Your emotions change, and how you deal with your emotions also change in light of how your perspective changes. Very difficult to put into words what I'm seeing here. But I'll do my best. And then we have this card of actual change that represents change. And what do we have? We've got the Eight of Pentacles, the Eight of Coins, and that is all about doing that work one step after another, taking one step after another in the way that you see fit and in the way that best works for you. I'm going to take the Sibylla here on some of these cards. First, this card, the card that represents the issues that you come in with. Yeah. All right, we've got Speranza, the hope. We've got the messenger, messaggero. And then we have Amatrice, the female lover. These are not males or females. They could be, you know, they're people here, energies. But what I'm looking at is that there's almost as if you're looking, you know, a lot of us put our crystals out on the windowsills or under in full moonlight, so they get regenerated. And you go actually out there, Gemini, and the cards are telling you go out there, because your messages and your insights will be so strong, if you can, in a place where there's few clouds, and if it's clear and you can feel it, you will be so strong, the insight that you will receive into the idea, into your issues, what is a burning issue for you. This full moon is going to give you the highest, you know, as if you can touch the moon with your finger, and through your finger you're going to get the answer. It's very intense, very intense, but you are being born again, and you don't have to go through the birthing process. You know, you're not being pushed out by a uterus. You know, it's not that. It is you're there, but ding, the light goes on. You are born again. I'm going to take a look at this this Six of Coins, the action that you take, the generosity of spirit here. And I've got the stanza, the room, which speaks to communication, actually, the priest, sacerdote, and the amica, who speaks to harmony, the friend. I've got here, actually, it does talk about generosity of spirit. It does talk about communication. Stanza is all about communication on a one-to-one, on a soul-to-soul level. Very, very interesting. You're in for an extremely rich moon cycle here, full of emotions and full of a teaching there for you. I'm going to look at this Eight of Coins and what that talks about in terms of change. And I've got here the consolante sorpresa, the consoling surprise, Fortuna, the fortune card, and Gelosia, the jealousy card, which talks about sadness more than anything else. And it does talk also about loss, of a little bit of financial loss when things change. This loss, if it is financial for you, it has to do with an idea of breaking away, of giving up. It's not so much a loss. You lose something you want to lose, all right? That's what it talks about. It's going from a villa, from a huge house, and accepting a studio apartment, a one-room apartment, because you value your independence and your freedom like never before. And you want a place to call your home, and you want to be able to reason when you need to reason. Very, very interesting. This period is going to usher in a huge, huge, huge shift for you, Gemini, a huge change for you. I'm going to look at now the runes and what the casting will, if I could get my hand in there. All right. Oh, you know, keynotes has come out every single time. Let me turn them all over so I know what I'm looking at first. Oh, and Yera has come. These two have come out in all three readings I've done so far. Now, right at the top, we've got keynotes. Keynotes is insight, is being insightful, but it's Merkstave. It means that you stand and you, by the light of the moon, I mean, you actually do seek guidance. You're seeking guidance because you feel that you alone are missing something. There's something hidden from you. And this also prompts you to interact communicatively in a very generous way. I could say wearing your heart on your sleeve, but wearing your truth, more or less. It's wearing your truth on your sleeve. And Fehu Merkstave also talks about, look, you're going to cut your losses and also cut, and that will be a loss. Meaning, just like I said about leaving the house behind and going into a studio apartment, you're going to downsize. You're going to leave economic value behind because it's not important to you now. This is an example. You don't want the jewelry, the money, keep everything, take the house. I need to be somewhere else, someone else. And it's being reborn again. It's your turn for a shifting change, for sweeping change. And I've got here also 30 sets Merkstave, which is always a difficult rune. It always tells me, look, you cannot not do this, because this is what you have to go through. This is a rite of passage for you. You've got to be in the moment and accept what is being given to you and what is coming to you as insight. Also, we have Anzus Merkstave, and that talks of they're suggesting, counseling you. There is generosity of communication, and I did say you are wearing your heart on your sleeve and your thoughts on your sleeve. The runes are saying, look, Gemini, try not to spill, to bladder out everything, and measure the words as they come out, because you have your own stream of consciousness. The person in front of you may not be ready for that. So out of respect, take it slowly. And take it slowly. It is. Yera tells you take it slowly. Here too, I'm seeing a karmic pattern here. This is Dayak. I'm seeing a karmic pattern that in every lifetime, it seems that there's one moment in time in your life, Gemini, where, okay, change, change, showtime, it's change. I'm born again. As out of the blue, it is experienced by people around you as being out of the blue. But when indeed you have, remember in the beginning of the reading, I said it's been a long time, and it was relative. It has been a long time that this was being thought about. Very intense, very, very intense. You're born again. You're born again. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen, Gemini friends. I do hope this was of help. And thank you so much for your support, your likes, your shares, and subscriptions. I really appreciate that. Until we read together again. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.